Hello everyone, Jordan here back with another review for you. Today we're looking at the Cooler Master Master Mouse MM520 and MM530. Now these mice actually run the same specs, and you might think, well, why would they do that in the same thing? But it's actually down to whether you prefer a claw or a palm grip. So the way Cooler Master have gone about this is they've looked at maybe designing a mouse that contains all the kind of styles in one, but they found it to be better going the route of creating two different mice to have the same specs. Then the user can just select the kind of grip they like, and then there's a mouse to match up with it. So at the current point of recording this video, the claw grip, which is the MM520, is actually $33.99, and then the MM530 palm grip is $34.99, so something to bear in mind as we go through the video. So quickly I'm going to just reel through the specs. Now bear in mind they are the same on both mice. Obviously there is a little bit of a size and weight difference, so we'll cover that as well. But they're using a Pixar BMW3360 optical sensor. You've got 4 levels of DPI adjustment on the fly. Default is 400, 1200, 4000, then 12,000. If you can play 12,000, then let me know, because that's absolutely nuts. You've got a tracking speed of 50G as well, so your wildest movements on the mouse mat will be tracked without an issue. Adjustable lift-off distance. You've got a 1000 Hz polling rate. Angle snapping. You've got a 32-bit ARM Cortex processor that has 5 programmable profiles with onboard memory as well, so you can use them if you go to a friend's house, for example. Has a matte UV coating as well, which is slightly rough to the touch but still gives a really nice grip. Using on-run switches that have a 20 million click lifespan, and then you've also got a flexible 1.8 meter cable. The MM520 claw grip is 118 long by 78 wide and then 29mm high. Weighing 101 grams without the cable. You don't really count that as it's on your desk, which is, pretty much the ideal weight. This is actually the successor to the Spawn mouse. Then the MM530 palm grip is 124mm by 60 wide and then 40mm high. Now the 530 is the successor to the Mizar and weighs 99 grams without the cable, so again, right in the perfect range. So you get 2 little manuals included in the box, and then with the MM530 you get 2 extra pads that you can replace on the bottom. So one subtle but really cool thing I do like is the purple that's in the USB. There's a little bit of attention to detail that makes something stand out above the rest. Now, as I did mention, the cable is a 1.8 meter cable. This is a normal rubber coated cable, but I did find it didn't tangle up, so you'll be all good there. So onto the mice themselves. The 530 is actually on the left of the screen. Didn't actually realise that till I edited it, so sorry about that. But once you get used to what's what, you'll remember pretty easily anyway. So as you can see on the left hand side of the mice, the 530 has got the rubber texture unlike the 520. This is good for grip. You can actually feel it when you're moving it about. There is quite a depth to it, so it is noticeable while you play. Both have got 2 configurable buttons on the left hand side as well. One thing the 530 doesn't have is the little RGB zone along the bottom of the mouse. And then on the top of the mouse you've got the Cooler Master logo that's lit around the outside. I think it would look better if they could light the whole thing though. Just something about having it just go around the outside just looks a little bit odd to me. Maybe if it was a white panel with the black text and you could shine light through, maybe. I think it would look better, but still it does the job. So the right hand side is where you're going to notice the big changes of the mice. You see on the 520 on the left they've got some really nice moulding where you're going to rest your third finger and then your pinky will fit on the rubber side just underneath. Really comfortable, and just the way they've designed it just feels really nice. On the underside of the mouse is where we're going to find the Pixar sensor, then the interchangeable pads if they get worn. As I said, you do get some included with the 530 but not the 520, but maybe that's something they're going to offer on the website. So quick demonstration on how it fits the hand. I've got really big hands, so that's just something to take into account. Now Cooler Master do advertise them as claw/palm for each of them on the website, but just more predominantly for one, obviously with the different shapes. But they can be used either way pretty comfortably. I don't really think it's going to matter if you suddenly decide to change when you buy the 520, for example, going in with a claw grip, but you decide you're going to use a palm for your gaming in the future. I think it'll work just fine. Now, as you may have noticed with the 520, it's got the grip on the right hand side and there isn't any on the left. It doesn't really make a difference. It's still comfortable and very precise when you use it. The 530 does have the grip on the both sides, but both are comfortable to use and I've not had any problems during games. Now both of these actually offer adjustable lighting on the mouse itself, I think, which is pretty cool, using a combination of the DPI and then the left buttons. You can easily cycle through the different modes and different colours on there as well. You can also go through the different profiles that are stored on the mouse as well. I think this is more going to be used predominantly when you're using it on a friend's computer, for example, or maybe another system that hasn't got the Cooler Master software. But if you are at home and you want to get into even more customization, then take a look at the software. So if you want to get things down ultra precise to your exact specifications, this is where you're going to be spending, to be pretty frank, a lot of your time. So the main thing you're going to see here is all your different key operations, so you can literally assign every button to whatever you fancy. even keyboard shortcuts and things like that as well. Nice to see there's just a browser back button. That's something that I didn't find in other software for some reason. Simple thing, but it wasn't on there. So yeah, nice to see it's on this one. So you can literally just go through and set these all up. Now to go even more nuts, you can actually use the DPI button as a tactics button, which then offers you another set of controls, which is just ludicrous, having, you know, just the one selection of customized buttons, let alone having duplicates of that. But there we go, that's something you can do there. So literally go on to the next tab along, and then you've got all the options to do your secondary buttons. Further along from that, we've got the macros. Just literally set one up on the left hand side as a new macro. Then you can go in and then set it up. You can use keyboard commands. You can do lift off rates and how long you press down the key, all different things like that. Then just save that, and you can bring it in on the mouse bindings on the first tab. So for the RGB lighting, I've got the customizable option here, so you can select a color you want and then just literally click what area zone you want that color on. Pretty simple to use. You do have other effects on there, such as the breathing. The star effect is okay. Color cycle and things you can change the speed of from 1 to 5. You've got multi-layers as well, so you can put different effects on different parts of the mouse. I think this works okay. I don't think it's quite as intuitive as some other pieces of software that different companies provide with their products, but maybe that will be something that will be a little bit better in the future. These are the more in-depth tweaks you've got on the mouse. You can do your different DPI levels and set up your profiles as well. These are the DPI adjustments you get by default, but you can obviously change those as you want them. It even gives you an option to add a mouse mat, which will basically configure your settings to that side of the mouse mat. Quite a cool feature if that's something you want to go into. At the very end, you've got different OS sensitivity, double click speeds, and your response times as well. So something you're definitely going to want to spend some time on, especially if you're going to be playing a bit more competitively. So all in all, these mice provide great value for money. The sensor that they're rocking, the Pixar 3360, just works absolutely flawlessly. No matter what game I played, I just found it to be really immersive. Didn't have any problems with tracking or anything like that. Wherever I wanted the mouse cursor to be, it would be every time without fail. They both feel great, even though I've got massive hands. I could get on with either one really comfortably. I'd probably say I like the 530 a little bit more than the 520 purely because it's just slightly longer, which is obviously better for my bigger hand. But I still can use the 520 as well, and it is still comfortable to use. I do like the RGB. I think the software does need a little bit of work, but considering these are £35 at the time of recording, to get RGB on a mouse of this caliber is pretty great anyway. I still do think it would look better though if they lit the whole Cooler Master logo than just the outline. I still think that looks a little bit weird. The matte UV coating that they've whacked onto these mice I think works really well. They do actually have a demonstration on one of their social media profiles that shows somebody eating fried chicken and then putting your hand straight onto a mouse, and it shows how well that it does to kind of resist that grease. Generally speaking, don't do that. I know it was obviously over exaggerated for the video, but still, if you need to put your hand on the mouse after you've eaten something like that, you know the end result won't be too bad. So on top of that, great build quality, and that little purple USB just really tops it off. Now I'm going to go as far to say as these are the best gaming mouse you can buy at this price, so they definitely got my value for money award. So you got the 3360 sensor, 2 different designs for claw or palm grip. You got excellent software, and then RGB, all for £35. I think is absolutely incredible. So we'll leave the links for these in the description box below if you want to grab one for yourself. If you've got any extra questions, please leave them in the comments box below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I know people may have extra questions considering I'm not like a competitive player or anything like that. I just do it for fun. So if there are any extra questions you want answered, please do let me know. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Big thank you to Cooler Master for sending this out for me to review. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.